Hello, I'm Rosemary, and I like making things. I'm a sewer, not to be confused with a sewer. And I also dabble in things like cord waning. That's the technical term for making shoes from scratch. Beading, mostly for the purposes of having earrings that match my outfit. Crochet, though I haven't done much of that lately. And occasionally woodwork. My skill level in all of these areas is somewhat varied, and I spend quite a lot of time trying to figure out how to get what is in my head out of my head in a form that is functional. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not, which can be both entertaining and frustrating. I always work with a pretty small budget, so this really helps me be creative in using what I already have, as well as clearance fabrics, recycled fabrics, and my own cunning, particularly when it comes to making patterns, because let's be honest, patterns are hideously expensive. They never fit, and they're never quite exactly what you want. Although I do find op-shop patterns can be quite handy for helping execute things that are a bit tricky and beyond my current knowledge and skill level. What drives me is that my brain comes up with an idea of how to solve a problem. For example, I need a dress that is both crazy comfortable and also looks good, with pockets that can hold heavy stuff. So I get the idea, and then I spend lots of time thinking through all the different ways I could make it. Usually when I'm meant to be thinking about other things. And eventually I get around to finding out if I am in fact as cunning as I believe when I finally make the thing. At any one time there are a number of different ideas swirling around in my spaghetti brain, and sometimes I just need to get some of them out to make room for other things, like remembering to do the dishes or pay the bills and, adulting. Some ideas gestate for just a few hours, and others have a gestation period more like an alpine salamander, which can apparently gestate for up to 5 years at higher elevations. I've had to give up on the sewing because the dog wants pets. Apparently, I now also make videos of me making stuff. Making stuff is not enough. Make the videos of the making stuff. That idea has gestated more like a whale or an elephant. Not quite so long as a salamander. Again, I have some variance in my skill level, so I apologize in advance for useless lighting, talking too fast. Sorry. Cutting out too little. Or whatever else I need to get better at. I did consider making lots of videos before I actually posted any, so that they wouldn't be rubbish to start with. But then I thought, that doesn't really match my style. I'm pretty transparent about when I have no idea what I'm doing, which isn't all the time, but it's also not all the time. And also that the learning process is often just as important as the final product. So why not include a bit of the video making process alongside all the rest? What's the point of all this, you might ask? Well, heaps of people don't try something that they really want to try because they're worried about failing. I want to inspire you to try. I'll also do some of the failing for you. I'll show you that it can be annoying, but always valuable, and I'll share my failures so that you can decide to avoid those particular things, or you can learn the hard way if you prefer. Treat it like an hypothesis, a hypothesis. Treat it like a hypothesis. and see if I'm right. I'll talk through some of my ideas and show some of the process as well as the outcomes. Sometimes I'll show you the whole process, but I don't think I'm a careful tutorial kind of gal, so don't expect that. There are too many things I'd have to assume about what you do or don't already know. And hopefully, along the way, I'll provide you with some entertainment. Or the dog will. And in case you were wondering, yes, this is my sewing space. Yes, I did make my dress. And yes, I did make my earrings to match.